All right. As Carnivore Soldier would say, we are live and we are here. This is John with Carnivore Backwoods, and we got Brian here with Wick Goes Carnivore.
Hello.
Matt, in the message here, we're having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue with Facebook. It is possible the stream was ended or deleted on Facebook. We'll keep trying and let you know if it's resolved. Please check Facebook to ensure that the stream looks okay. If it continues for a while, try creating a new live stream or just remove the destination for the stream, then re-add it. I guess we'll just remove it. Delete on Facebook, remove. Did you ever go into Facebook also?
No, I did not.
Okay. Well, we got one in here so far, so having a little technical difficulty, but we're trying to add this back in here. See if we can get Facebook to come up. All right, we're live on Facebook now too. All right, Brian, how you doing tonight, bud?
I am doing good. How are you?
I am doing good. Had a really good weekend. The wife and I went to South Carolina for the meetup with Carnivore Quest. Got to see Intentional Carnivore, Carnivore Kip, Carnivore Pastor was there, Ground Beef Guy was there, Joyce with Faith to Victory, who's got a new channel that'll hopefully be interviewing here soon, was there, and a bunch of other people. It was a great time. We had there's a one picture where all the YouTubers there, and we took up the whole entire bridge for the picture. So I mean, it was a lot of us there, and we had a good time. A lot of talking, a lot of testimonies, some good food. Larry and Cassie did an amazing job hosting the event, so my hat off to them. And then the wife and I spent the weekend up in a remote cabin outside of the DuPont Forest, little Airbnb I picked up, and we spent the weekend up there and did a whole bunch of hiking, which I've been paying for the last couple of days. My legs have been killing me, but they're getting better. I believe we saw 6 different waterfalls, and I have all this on video. I got to sit down and do some editing, and I'm going to post some videos up. But we saw Looking Glass Falls, Hightower Falls, Triple Falls, Hooker Falls, Slide Rock. That's where you go to slide on the rock. You can actually go out there and you can slide down. It's a natural water slide. And there was one other one. Looking Glass, I got that one. Anyways, great waterfalls. A lot of these have been in movies over the years. One of the movies that's my favorite is The Last of the Mohicans. A lot of these waterfalls were in that movie, so that was a fun time. And then like I said, we just came home. We've been home since Sunday and trying to relax and get over the leg calf tension from all the walking. But we're doing good. What you got going on?
Well, you had a much more exciting weekend than I did, that's for sure. I didn't do a whole lot over the weekend, but yesterday, it's funny because you just had your anniversary with your wife, right? And yesterday I had my 26th wedding anniversary with my wife. So we
Congratulations, bud.
Thank you. We originally planned to go hiking, but it was raining all day, so we ended up doing some other sightseeing around the area, and then we went and had dinner last night. I got a steak, of course, so that was nice. Had a nice ribeye, and just kind of hung out and so forth. So it was a nice day, and now today's the first day here of really getting right back into it for YouTube after taking a day or so off there. We've got this live tonight. I got another live tomorrow. I've got an interview with a health coach, proper human diet health coach under Ken Berry that I'm doing on Friday night. and we're going to record that, offline and then put it live for people to watch later. So pretty busy. And then Sunday we're meeting again for your Carnivore Roundtable for a live stream. So I got a lot going on here the next few days, but the last couple of days were nice and relaxing.
Well, that's cool. So what type of steak did you have at the restaurant?
I had a ribeye. It was a 22-ounce ribeye. It was one that had like the bone on it, so I'm sitting there and I'm trying to get every last bit off the bone, right? And my wife's like, well, you're not going to put that up to your mouth, but if you want to box that and take it home, then you could just go in. I'm like, no, I'm getting it all as good as I can right now. So I think I'm good.
Yeah, we went to this restaurant in Hendersonville. I think is it South Carolina or North Carolina? I know it's right there on the border. I don't remember which Carolina we were in, but it's Hendersonville. I think it's North Carolina. The restaurant's called Shine, and I had it was a 20 ounce. I think it was 20-ounce ribeye, and it was amazing. It was super good and super just juicy, and yeah, it was worth every dime that I paid for it. And I got to talk to the waiter and try to talk him into carnivore at the same time, which I tell my wife I'm gonna change the world one waiter at a time. Every time I get a waiter, I'm pounding the carnivore diet to them, telling them how they can change and how I've lost 73 pounds. So it's become this regular thing, and she just looks at me and rolls her eyes in her head like, "You crazy." Let's say hi to a couple people here real quick. We got Susan. Hey, Susan, how you doing tonight? And then this, I can't pronounce this. You want to take a crack at it?
Giacomo. I'm not sure if I said that right. I hope I did. I apologize if I did not.
He's from Italy. I assume it's a he. I hate when I do that and I'm wrong. Anyways, from Italy, was on my I just had a random live last night where I just went on while I was waiting on the wife to get off work, and had some good questions and was on there, so it's good to see him again.
Good.
And Susan, Hendersonville, North Carolina. John, my daughter and husband, used to live up in the mountains there. Yeah, so that's where our cabin was. We had a little cabin. It was called a cabin on the ridge. The cabin itself, the logs of the cabin, I should say, are probably early 1900s, maybe even as far back as mid 1800s. This is a beautiful Appalachian style log cabin, and the guy, when he bought it, I mean, it was in major disrepair, and so he completely gutted it in the center. So the only thing that's original is the outside walls and the roof. Everything inside has been brought up to modern day. It's still a cabin inside, but it's modern day, standard. He got all kinds of rough cut wood from sawmills, and he just did an amazing job at redoing this place into a really nice Airbnb. And it's just nice and peaceful. It's at the end of a road. It's quiet up there. He's got a little fireplace out there. He's got places on the porch to sit. Oh, he had a barbecue out back. We cooked ribeyes the first night we were there. It was a good time, and I really enjoy it. And those will probably be the first videos I get up. It's just the walkthrough of that cabin, because it was absolutely gorgeous. Go ahead, Brian. And pop through here and see what I can see here. I need to get a little closer. I'm too far away. All right. Twin Maples. Hey, how you doing tonight? Oh, we got a hey Y and a hey y'all. There you go. Charger Mopar. What is up, sir? Pouring down the rain here. Ducks swimming in the streets. Well, that should be right up your alley. You like those ducks swimming in the streets. You feeding them that duck food?
So he's in Florida, so I feel like it probably rains a lot there, doesn't it? Like almost every day, it seems like, at least when I've been down there, like it'll rain for a little bit and then it gets sunny out again, and then it might rain again later or something. It's crazy.
Yeah. I've been down there, and there's normally storms running through the area. Finger got goofy. That's what happens when you have too much ribeye on them.
Got a little butter stuck there too.
A little butter on the fingers make you slip
Yeah.
those keys. Yes, the summer started dry, and all this rain stopped our hurricane season. Susan says it is gorgeous. They were way up near the top of the mountain, round and around and around we go. Yeah, I tell you what, it was absolutely gorgeous up there, and I definitely want to go back because we didn't even skim the surface of the things we could have done out there. Really, I wish I had actually stayed another night because we could have spent another day out there. Of course, I don't know if I've been able to walk the next day because my legs were killing me. Trust me. And the comments are coming. For 6 months, we have almost no rain. Well, you got some now. We've out here, I was like all excited. It was raining again. The mud was starting to dry out. Twin Maples. We got another egg from the girls today. 7 today, 1 per hen. What's really interesting is when you get 8, and you're trying to figure out who gave you double. All right, here's a question. What is the maximum amount of meat you have ever ate? Brian, you want to start that one?
Sure. So in one setting, the most I ate was I had a tomahawk ribeye that was 40 ounces.
Wow.
So that's 2.5 pounds. And it was really a struggle to finish it, but it was like Father's Day or something like that, I think. Right. So that was the only meal I ate that day for sure. But that was the most I've ate one time. How about you?
Probably about a 40 ounce. We did a tomahawk. I don't remember the exact size of it, but we did a tomahawk steak one time, which is basically just a big ribeye with the whole rib on there to look like the handle of a tomahawk. And it was probably 2 inches thick. I mean, so it was a huge steak. I did look and stuff in that restaurant in Amarillo, Texas. And they got a restaurant there that I think it serves, I believe it's 72 ounce steak. And if you can eat all of that, including the garnishments that are on the plate, you have to eat everything. You get it free and you get a t-shirt. And I thought about it. I've thought about it. Then again, I wasn't full carnivore back then. I might be able to do it now. I don't know. But most days I would say that I'm eating about a pound of meat to a pound and a half. But I can push it if I want to, and I've been known to, but I would say on the average, just on the diet, 16 ounce ribeyes, is a good one for me. About a pound of meat, maybe a few eggs on top of that.
Yeah. I'll typically do like a 20 to 22 ounce or so ribeye or a New York strip. I like to do ribeye more than New York strip, but sometimes you got to go New York strip if they're cheaper. I recently found a good deal for New York strip, so I bought a bunch of those. So right now I'm on a New York strip kick instead of ribeye.
Sweet. Yeah. I prefer ribeye, but only if I can find it on sale. So we're probably eating sirloins tonight. Maybe they could be chuck steaks. I didn't look to see what the wife was cooking. Ribeyes are a premium. Like Twin Maple says here, found them at Food Lion for $8.99 a pound. That's a good deal in this economy.
Mm-hmm.
I've got them as cheap as $6.99 a pound, but that's pretty rare. So
yeah,
here's something to celebrate. Susan's on day 100, the big 00.
Congratulations.
Carnivore diet. Outstanding. How you feeling? Tell us some non-scale victories of your 100 days on the carnivore diet. Put them in the comments over here. Backwoods, can't remember your actual name. Sorry, my name is Will. My name is John. Our tags aren't up, are they? Huh. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, you know, when you have a
Oh, that's when you have
comment
two.
up there, it doesn't show it.
Yeah, I see that. Huh. Didn't think about that. Yeah. Anyways, name's John, and this is Brian. We don't really go by those names unless we're on YouTube, but yeah. All right. Let me get the wrong screen up now. There we go. All right. What do we got here? Did you believe in eating until satisfied? Yes, absolutely. I eat until I am full. And, that's a daily thing. You got to eat till you're full. Um, and the weight will shed off. Or, you can. I've literally gone to bed eating a 16-ounce steak, that night and got up the next morning and weighed 2 pounds less. It's amazing, but you have to eat till you're full. What do you say, Brian?
Yeah, I totally agree there. Um, if you don't eat until you feel full, you're going to be more likely to get cravings too in between meals. So, um, just eat until, like Dr. Barry says, until you feel comfortably stuffed, right? So you're nice and full, and don't worry about eating again until you're really hungry. And I do that, and sometimes I only end up eating once a day because of that. Other times I eat twice a day. Most of the time I do eat twice a day, I will say that. But that's the way I do it. Eat until I'm feeling nice and full, and then don't eat again until I'm hungry.
He says, P.S. Sorry for my English. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're definitely not having a problem with it. Well, his name is John at Carnivore Back. Now, see, everybody does that. Backwards Carnivore, but yeah, it's Carnivore Backwoods. I will put 3 of them in a cast iron shortly. Cast iron's my favorite. It was the one thing that we were missing this weekend. Me and the wife were talking about it when we were up on our trip. Is like we really should have brought a cast iron pan because they provided dishes and pans and stuff, but they were of no quality for cooking when you're used to cast iron.
Yeah.
Rick says here, I have not had a ribeye since 2021. Rick, that explains a lot about you, buddy. You've been eating too much duck food.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's been having too many iguanas and stuff like that.
Yeah. You need to up your diet a little there, buddy. Twin Maple non-scale victory. I was able to get 100-pound bags of pig feet on my shoulder to carry into the house 2 months ago. Apostle. Yeah, that's great. I'm not sure if I want to throw around a 100-pound bag of pig feed. I've thrown some 50-pounders around, but a 100-pound, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And one bag at a time, of course. We got lots of comments going on here. I feel great, thank you. I can wear the button. I can wear a button-up blouse that I bought 2 years ago that was too small for me. Couldn't close it. Now it fits perfectly with plenty of room. See, those are the great. That's the great thing about this diet is the non-scale victories. Funny story. My wife, a month and a half back, she decided she needed a belt. And I do leather work. If you guys aren't remember that, I have a Facebook page called Collis Holsters. I make gun holsters, but I do leather work, and so I made her a belt. And I set it up so that she had 3 inches of play in it to suck it up. Well, she hadn't worn it in the last month. And so when she went to go on this trip, she decided to wear her belt that I made for her. And we ended up having to put 6 new holes in it because she had lost so much weight. The holes didn't match up anymore. And now I got to cut the end of the belt off for her because it's too long and it's out there, flapping around. So, those are good scale victories.
Definitely.
All right. Me too. More than 2 years carnivore, eat until I'm satisfied. No problems with sports, work, or sleep. Usually OMAD. Yeah, I go back and forth. I do OMAD quite a bit. Then sometimes I get in the thing where I got to eat a couple times a day. It's just whatever the you know, the body tells me.
Hmm.
It's kind of popping through these fast, Brian. Sorry, we need to get into our conversation. Kind of got
Yeah.
sidetracked here with the chat. Susan, don't worry about it. Just somebody else was doing that the other day, and I was just laughing about it. I was like, how did that get reversed? You know, I know it's backwoods, but it's not backwards.
I did that, or like the first time that we had live together or something. I did it. I put it backwards, and I was like, "Oh!" Then I saw it, and I was like, "No!" And I had to change it.
It's just we were at. Oh, some people were posting comments from the meetup last week, and they were putting on their backwards carnivore or backwoods carnivore or carnivore, and I'm like, no, it's carnivore backwoods, but whatever, as long as you know who I am. Yeah. All right, let's take a few more of these comments, and then we'll get into our discussion here. Didn't mean to get sidetracked. Rick is eating those iguanas. Yeah, obviously, he hasn't eaten ribeye since 2021. Do you eat every kind of meat? I can only eat ruminant meat because can't digest others. Brian, you want to go first?
Sure. I eat mostly beef, but I do eat chicken and pork. Typically, if it's pork, it's like pork shoulder, pork butt, whatever that I'll smoke into some pulled pork or something like that. And I do eat bacon, which of course is pork. In terms of chicken, it's normally either chicken wings or chicken thighs with the skin on them, to try and get extra fat content and get butter on them and stuff like that. But that's it. Other than beef, most of my meals are going to come from beef. Usually like New York strip or ribeye, chuck steak, um, or ground beef.
Cool. I eat primarily beef, just like Brian said, but we will eat chicken about once a week. The wife will fry up legs and thighs in lard, and we'll eat that. And then I try to add some variety, so we'll throw in some shrimp periodically. We'll throw in some salmon, but mostly it's a lot of ground beef or steaks. Um, what else have we done? We do eggs, but that's the primary. Beef is the primary, but I do get into some others. Now I love lamb and stuff, but we haven't really bought any lamb, so I can't say that I've been eating other ruminants because the only ones that we've really been eating is beef, and that's just due to cost and lamb is so small, and I'm a big guy. I like to eat, so you know it's expensive to eat lamb. It's a lot cheaper to eat steak.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about meal prepping for a little bit here. Then we'll get back into the comments, guys. So Brian, you want to start? Talk about your thoughts on meal prepping, what you do, and then I'll talk.
Yeah, sure. So I typically go a couple of days out on my planning. So I don't go too far out. Like some people plan out for the entire week. I don't usually do that. But what I do is a couple of days out. I'll figure out exactly what I plan to eat for those next couple of days. Make sure that I get, because most likely I'm getting it out of the freezer. So I'll get it out, get it thawed out, that kind of thing. Um, any kind of steaks, I like to do a brine with salt like 24 hours ahead of time. So I'll do that, and then just have them salted up and sitting in the fridge for 24 hours. Steaks I would normally take out about an hour before cooking them, just so that they kind of come to temperature and that kind of thing. But I plan out basically like that, every couple of days, um, and um, yeah, I don't necessarily plan that, this is the time that I'm gonna eat, but I kinda have an idea most of the time. No, most of the time between, like, noon, 1, 2 o'clock is my first meal, and, if, let's say, I have a bigger ribeye steak or something, like a 24 ounce or something, I probably won't plan another meal that day because I just probably won't get hungry, or, I'll just maybe think, like, "Okay, if I get hungry, I'll just make some bacon or something like that in the evening." Um And if I have a smaller steak or something, or I have maybe some ground beef or something like that, then I'll plan a second meal for the evening, which is typically going to be probably in that 5, 6, 7 o'clock time frame. And then there's like usually around an 18-hour fast in between until the meal the next day. So that's typically how I will plan it. Um, the other thing I'll say is sometimes I have to go into the office, and if I'm going to do that, I will plan that I'll cook whatever it is I'm going to eat the night before, have it in the fridge, take it with me into the office, and then I can just heat it up, um, there when I'm ready to eat. That's typically how I do it. How about
Cool.
you, Joe?
You ever find yourself in a situation where you forgot to plan something and then you got to figure out what you're going to do?
Yes, but the good thing is I have an air fryer, so I can take a steak and put it in the air fryer or something like that. Um, I typically like to cook my steaks. I have a pellet grill, and I like to cook them on there. But I think they taste much better there than they do in the air fryer. But I'll do them in the air fryer. I also recently got a cast iron pan, and I'm going to start doing some steaks in cast iron as well. I especially want to do the chuck steak in the cast iron. So
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I don't do a lot of meal planning. So, I mean, I live off grid. So, I'm on a limited amount of power that I can use. I have a small little 3 cubic foot freezer that we keep, stocked up with food but I can't plan out for a long period, but I try to keep steaks in there. I try to keep bacon in there. I try to keep, some chicken in there just so that the things, and then we'll pull that out and we'll be cycling through it. And I try to do, 1 or 2 days in advance, start thinking about what we're going to do. Um, and we'll let it thaw out. I do like the idea of salting it and brining the steak. That I never thought about that, but that's a good idea. Um, and so I have a Blackstone grill, and so I can crank that thing up, and it will hit 600 to 700 degrees on the black on the top thing after it's heated up for about 10 minutes, and I will flash sear my steaks right on there and let them cook until they start to the juice starts to flow out of the top, and then flip and sear them again, and you get a perfect medium rare that way. So that's the steaks. I like to cook up 3 pounds of bacon at a time, and we'll prep that, and so then we'll take that and stuff it in a Ziploc bag, and then we can use that as a snack, for those times where you need that extra boost of fat and protein. So that was something that I prepped. I'm not doing that as much now as I was in the beginning, because in the beginning I still having those hunger cravings and cravings for something to eat. So having that handy was a good thing, but I don't do that as much now as I used to. My I like cooking up smash burgers, which is basically you take a round ball of meat, and then I use a piece of parchment paper, and I have a big smasher, and you literally go in there and you smash it to the grill, and you hold it there for 10 seconds, and then you pull it off and you do the next one. So you're literally flattening these things. It's about as flat as you can get them on the grill, and they get a really nice crisp on them. And so I will make up a bunch of those, and then I will have those in the refrigerator, and that will be what I take to work to have as something to eat for lunch for those days where I'm not doing OMAD. Now, there's the days I forget or something, and I might end up at McDonald's ordering quarter pounder patties, or Wendy's ordering large patties. But most of the time, that's my meal prepping. I try to plan in advance so that if I know that I'm going to be going somewhere where I may need to, might be tempted by other foods, or they might be eating something, I'll eat beforehand. I'll eat some protein, I'll eat a hamburger or whatever, and have that protein source beforehand. So when I go there, you can interact, you can do the social thing. People don't really pay attention to how much you're eating or what you're eating at most of these things. So as long as you're already full, then it's not a problem to pick through, grab some proteins out of whatever the social event is, and nobody really pays attention. Like I went bowling here a few months ago, and at a company that I work for all bought us all pizza. Well, I'm not eating the bread, so I was just eating the cheese and the toppings off and throwing the crust in the trash. Nobody noticed. I mean, you just do what you got to do to get through the social things. So that's my meal prepping. Like I said, I don't do a lot of it, but I do enough of it that I have it at least ways in the freezer, and I'm planning for, for what we're going to do the next day or two, and then we'll hit the store and we'll just keep replenishing our supply. And I try to find all the sales. That's the big plan. It's just to try to get your meat at the lowest price possible so that you can keep your budget, in check.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point that you brought up about planning when you're going to go to an event or something. That's always key to make sure that you've, especially if you don't know what's going to be there at the event, that you've planned ahead of time and either have ate before you went or you're bringing something with you that you can eat.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially, going to the event on Friday where I knew it was a meetup, and I wasn't worried about that. I waited till I got there. I was like, yeah, hopefully we're eating good. They had steak, they had pork chops, they had they had burgers, bacon, steak tips.
And then they had like Wagyu beef hot dogs.
Wagyu beef hot dogs, though those had a little bit of sugar in them, but I guess those were really good. I didn't try those, but yeah, if you know what you're getting into, then it's one thing. But if you got to plan ahead, then it's definitely worth it. If you got questions, please put them in the comments and put a Q, a big capital Q, in front of it so that I can spot them out. I'm going to run through the comments and see what we got going on here. See if I can catch up to where we're at. Twin Maples says, I was watching a skinny Amish kid load the bags like they were 25 pounds. Well, to him, they were 25 pounds. He's eating better than us. I'm down to the last hole on my belt. That is a cool thing. My belt, I got a leather belt, and I literally have a history of from where I was to where I'm at now, and I keep punching holes in it. And I've actually cut off a little chunk of it because it got too long. But yeah, I have like 13 inches of travel since I started this diet. It's an amazing amount of loss is across that because if pant sizes are not accurate. 40-inch pants aren't really 40-inch pants. 38-inch pants aren't really 38. Belt size is your girth at your waist, and it's amazing to watch that happen. The price of meat here doubled in 2 years, and I'm too poor to afford good steaks. You got to do some shopping. If you stop chasing the iguanas, you could probably find something on sale. We're just harassing the immigrant. We're harassing Rick the deaf tonight, aren't we? I spend about 2 hours moving my sheep so that I have ruminants of my own to harvest. There are 2 wethers and 2 ewes to grow a herd. That's cool. Brian, do you do any type of farming where you're at, or are you in the city? I haven't really asked that question before.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of in between. Like, it's funny. I go a mile or so one way, and I get to like a lot of traffic in city, and I go like a mile the other way, and there's farms. But I don't have anything really at my house. It's just I just get my stuff either locally or I like to get it from Costco or Aldi as well. Usually I can get good prices there.
I have 15 acres of woods and not a fence on it. So I want to add some livestock to the property, and I'm probably going to add some hopefully this year. But I got a bunch of fences to build, and so it's just I have a lot of projects, and I can only split myself in so many directions. So livestock hasn't been a high priority. But I wouldn't mind getting some pigs to grow, put in the freezer, and I'd love to have some cattle. But I need to clear some woods to give me some grass growing because I really don't want to feed cattle because that's worse than buying $14 or $15 a pound steaks at the supermarket.
Yeah.
Susan, I just think that you're a woodsy guy and have people call you backwoods. Laugh out loud. My husband was a woodsy guy, hunter and outdoorsman. Well, see that is me. I am an avid hunter, avid outdoorsman. I love the outdoors. So yeah, I am backwoods. When I was sitting down thinking about how I was going to name my channel, um, that really rang true with me. Carnivore Backwoods, because I love the country. Unfortunately, I was born in one of the biggest cities around, but I escaped it when I was little.
I don't know how to pronounce.
I'm struggling.
Yeah,
What are we referring to? I'm lost. Did I miss something here? Oh, the sheep. The sheep. The sheep are. Not sure how to pronounce that. I'm a little too redneck, apparently. Let's see what we're at here. Leanne, how do you pronounce this? Katahdin.
Katinda?
Katinda?
Contendon?
Katindin? Okay. She's a nurse. She can answer all those hard questions.
Is it somebody's name?
No, I think it's a sheep. I think that's what it's.
Oh, Katahdin.
Katahdin. Katahdin. See,
Katahdin sheep. We've
See?
had them.
That's why I married up.
We had a Katahdin. We had Katahdin sheep. Remember, our male was a Katahdin.
I'll have to think about that one for a minute. All right. Our regular breakfast in the last 2 weeks is about 1.5 pounds of burger and six to 8 eggs. Breakfast for us is between 11 and 2 p.m. If I have bacon that gets cooked in a pan, 2 eggs scrambled. Scrambled up.
I think, does that mean sunny side up?
Yeah.
But then that's not scrambled. I don't know.
Scramble wouldn't be sunny side up, so I don't see a correction there, but we'll get there. Anyways,
yeah, she said sunny, or he said sunny side up.
Okay, so scrambled and sunny side up.
Yeah.
All right, my weight loss live. Hey, bud, what's up? I've not tried this yet, but have you ever tried canning meat? Yeah, actually, we have done some of that. You need a pressure canner. You got to get it to a high enough temperature to make sure that you're going to kill any bacteria that could possibly be there. And the meat is going to be good. It's going to be tender, and it's going to fall apart. If you ever had any type of canned meat, it's going to be a consistency of where it's literally going to fall apart. You put a fork through it and it's just going to fall apart. So yeah, I've done it, and it's a great way to store meat if you got a bunch of it and you want to store it long term. It's definitely worth doing. Though I've heard, and I don't know this personally, I've heard things about this canning meat like that raises its histamine levels, and so that could cause you some histamine issues if you eat it. If you have an issue with that, so it's just something to think about. If you get histamine and it causes you to get snotty nose and head and coughing because you drank just a little bit of milk or something. Apparently, long aged meat can have that effect too. It's something I was reading up on the other day. All right, here's a question. Brian, you want to start with this one?
Sure. So is anchovies okay for a snack? I don't know why. For some reason I have an echo, so I apologize. I don't know if there's something going on with my audio. So if you hear that, I apologize.
It's not echoing on this side.
Okay, good. Maybe it's just something weird I'm hearing. But anyways, yeah, I try not to snack, but if I do get a craving, then I will snack on something. And anchovies is a fish, so it's perfectly fine to use as a snack or whatever, or as part of a meal. I have no problems with it. What do you think, John?
I think that it's perfectly fine if that's it's a great source of protein, and I'm pretty sure they're high in fat too. Similar to a sardine. I don't know if I've actually ever had an anchovy, but I know they're fish, and they're in that same style as a sardine. So yeah, I wouldn't have an issue with it. I've ate some sardines. I haven't found some that I really like. I used to like them a lot when I was a kid, but I bought some the other day and I wasn't overly impressed with them. But yeah, if it's animal based and it's not sugar, then yeah, it's great for a snack if that's what you need to get you through. Obviously, if you can go the full 18 hours and get yourself in ketosis and fast and get autophagy going, you're going to see a lot of really amazing results. But if you can't do it, then and you need a snack, that would be an okay snack to do. Charger Mopar says it's not hard to can meat. No, it's really simple to do. Like I said, the only thing I recommend is make sure you have a pressure canner, because you really need to get it up to a higher temperature just to make sure that you're not getting botulism or anything in there, because that would definitely ruin your day. Here's one for us. There is a Santa lunch this weekend at the Seafood Buffet. Happy Carnivore. Cool.
So my question is, there's a Santa lunch in September? Are we talking about Santa Claus here, right? Or am I missing what we're talking about?
Yeah, I'm not 100% certain myself, but I love a buffet. Especially if it's got a good buffet with with a lot of protein sources. That's always good.
Yeah.
Charger Mopar says, I saved the bread and veggies for the sandwiches for the duckies. Well, and it's raining out there, so now they're swimming closer. I want to go to that meetup. It was my high school reunion. I was the cook. Wow, I would love to have seen you there. It was a great time. I tell you what, I think there was around 40, maybe 45 people there, somewhere in that neighborhood. It was a really good event. That park is beautiful, the little state park there outside of Greenville, South Carolina. And so I'm throwing this idea out, and I haven't said anything, but I started talking about it last night about doing some type of meetup here in the Knoxville, maybe Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area. So something to think about, for maybe spring of next year. Like I said, I'm just hashing around the idea. I was really impressed with the meetup, and I thought it was a good idea. It was a great way to get people together. A lot of good testimonies and stuff. So something that I may do, locally here if people are interested. Minimalist Carnivore. Hey, all. Quick hello. Well, hey, bud, what's going on with you tonight? I'm waving. You can't see me, though. All right, Rick. Question for you, buddy. Can you ship frozen iguana to a curious chef? I don't know if you've answered that already, but we'll find your answer here in the comments. And, we want to know if you can start shipping your iguanas. Minimalist Carnivore says, I would like some lambs and a few cows for a dream one day. Absolutely. When I lived out in Nevada before moving out back to Tennessee, we had 9 to 10 breeding pigs. So most of them were sows, and we had a couple boars. And at any given time, I had anywhere from 50 to 200 piglets on the ground. That we were raising up, and we were selling meat at the farmers markets in Reno. And so we were selling Italian sausage. We were selling chorizo, and we were selling all kinds of cuts of pork shares of pigs and stuff. And that was a good time. I really like farming. And like I said, we just haven't had the ability to do it here yet. And plus, it comes with a lot of commitment. You literally become married to farming because nobody's going to feed those animals if you're not here. So you're going to be here. You're going to be feeding them. You're going to be taking care of them. It's if you see a farmer out there, you really need to love on that person because they are committed to what they do. They don't get a day off. They don't get a rain day. They don't get a snow day. They don't get anything. They every day they have to go out there and take care of those animals to provide for you. So if you're going to a local farmer, you really need to love on them. They deserve every penny that they're getting. Here's a question for me. Have you ever used solar powered fence? Premier One is a great brand. I have used solar powered fence, and it would be definitely what I do out here because I have no electricity to the property. Everything I do on the property is powered by solar. I have solar on the trailer and the cabin here, and then when I build the new cabin, it will have its own solar system also. And I may or may not add power to the property at some point just as a backup, but we do quite well without it. And even when I need to, I always can start up the generator and run it for a few hours to charge my batteries back up. Rick says, I wonder how long a frozen iguana would stay frozen. Well, if you packed it with some dry ice, it would stay frozen all the way there. I have shipped pork to a friend of mine in Alaska, with dry ice, and it was still completely frozen when it got there. And then he turned around and used the same container and shipped me fresh salmon from Alaska back to me, with dry ice. It was still frozen when it got here. So dry ice is the way to go. And you get the medical ice, your medical style coolers, styrofoam coolers. They seal up better, and you tape them, and then you put them in a box, and they ship well. Katahdin is the sheep breed. So now I could say it because now my wife's told me. We got sunny side up. We got past that. Where are we at here? Also, slow cooking meat can increase histamines like in a crock pot. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, it's just something some people are affected by it. Some people aren't. Brian, do you have any histamine issues?
Well, I don't seem to have any issues. Like I'll do chuck roast in a crock pot, and I don't have any issues with that. But I do have some allergy issues, and I've seen issues with when I've had alcohol in the past where I'd get sinus issues. So I think that's from the histamines from the alcohol. So I think it just kind of depends on what affects me and what doesn't.
Yeah. It's weird. Cream doesn't bother me, but if I drank milk, I would be all stuffed up because of the histamines. And some cheese can do that to you too. So it's just one of those things you have to watch out for.
Yeah.
Minimalist Carnivore. I know Costco has excellent stuff out in August here in Phoenix when it was 113 outside. Yeah, well, yeah, that's Hobby Lobby's had, I think so.
So he said it was 113 in August, so I'm assuming it's only like 100 now that we're in September.
Yeah. It's cold. They're probably wearing jackets now. I am pro Santa. It's a group of real beard Santa Claus having a meeting at a seafood buffet in Williamsburg.
So is that Williamsburg, Virginia?
That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, I'm only about hour and a half, 2 hours from there where I live. Interesting.
Then we're closer together than I thought we were. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think, well, yeah, so for me to go down near Knoxville area will be about an 8-hour drive or so.
Williamsburg, Virginia. We're all going to the buffet. That's what we're up to here. No.
Yeah, I'm wondering which I can think of one place that I remember as a seafood buffet in, yeah, he posted Colonial Williamsburg, Captain George's. That's the place I was gonna say. Captain George's. I've been there a few times.
Yeah, okay, it's farther than me than I thought. It's 7 hours and 31 minutes from me to Williamsburg.
Yeah. Yeah, Williamsburg's, it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours from my house, and I've been in the area several times. Matter of fact, just 2 years ago, I think was the last time my wife and I went down there for, little mini vacation or whatever. Did the whole Williamsburg, Jamestown, Yorktown, all that stuff. Definitely went to Captain George's. It's a nice place.
I'll say I've been through there. Like I said, I drove up there. Well, I was talking to you before the show. We drove all the way up to DC and back here a little while ago to meet up with my uncle before he passed away. So I love that area up there, and me and the wife have done some exploring that way a couple times. Twin Mabel says I would love to go to Tennessee. I have family in Elizabethton and in Johnson City. Yeah, I make it to Johnson City now on a regular basis. I drive for work. I'm an outside salesman for my job, and so I'm making it all the way up to Johnson City once or twice a week, probably now. Dr. Berry has St. Corsic sheep that he has about 20 or more. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to look that one up. All right, got a question. Charger Mopar. Have you ever eaten bull meat? I had it many years ago, and it was tough but flavorful. So what he's referring to here is most beef that you eat is probably going to be cow. It's probably not even male. But steer meat is a bull that's lost his ability to breed because they've been removed, and a bull is one that still had the ability to breed, and so they get a different flavor to them. Yes, I've had bull meat. I like it. It is a little bit tougher. But it's one of those things that you in a crock pot or a pressure cooker, you can make anything tender. But yeah, it is a different flavor than what you're used to when you get your normal store-bought meat. Brian, how about you?
I've never had it.
I had that feeling. Oh, comments are coming fast tonight. I'm about an hour from Greenville, South Carolina, but I couldn't go to it due to the lack of vehicle at the time. It looked like so much fun. I'll be going next year. Susan, I plan on going again next year too. It was a great time. They were talking about it. At the beginning, they weren't sure if they were going to make it an annual event, but I'm pretty sure now, after the success that it was, that they will be. Like I said, it's something that we can look at for doing something here in Tennessee. We're only 3 hours from South Carolina, and actually Sevierville, Gatlinburg area is probably 2.5 hours, so it's not bad. You got a cousin that lives in Knoxville. That's cool. You should build a wood gas generator. I used one when we lost power after a hurricane. I'm gonna have to research that one. I've never heard of a wood gas generator, so I'm gonna have to do some Google search on that one to better understand. But it sounds interesting. I mean, I got plenty of wood. the trees around here grow about 4 feet every day or something, and try to take back the woods that I already cleared.
Oh, yeah.
A meetup in Tennessee means we can invite Dr. Barry. Absolutely. I would love to have Dr. Barry come to a meetup. He's actually north of Nashville, little town up there just north of Nashville, is where his clinic and everything was for the last 20 something years. And so, I'd love to have him. He was here doing some speaking up in Gatlinburg not too long ago. So, if we plan something, I would definitely try to invite him and see if I could, if he would come. You ever thought about having a meetup over around your area there, Brian?
Nicole, former fat girl Nicole, and I have talked about doing one in the Northern Virginia area. But we've just been so busy that we haven't done a whole lot of planning yet. But yeah, we'd like to do one up here. I don't know how many people there are in Virginia. I know there's a few people that we've heard from, but so we're kind of in the planning stages, I guess, at this point.
Cool, that would be great. Lots of clauses have serious health issues and don't understand why. There's a lot of people that have serious health issues and then they want to argue with you about your diet. I was having that conversation with a coworker today, and he was trying to say, "Oh, they say meat's bad for you." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, but they say a lot of things, but it's not true." And explain it out to him, and then he's like, "Well, what about this?" I'm like, "Look, here it is. I'm no longer diabetic. My blood sugar is under control. I'm off my medicine. I'm off most of my blood pressure medicine. I feel better than I ever have. I've lost 73 pounds. I'm pretty sure the proof is in the doing, not in the talking. People do a lot of talking, but I'm doing, and I have the proof to show it. This is absolutely possible, and it can happen. So, you just got to get out there and talk to these people and show them, and hopefully they'll like you did. Somebody somehow you found out about it and it dropped and you decided to do it. I found out about it because from somebody, and this thing will keep spreading and people will get healthier. The secret is out of the bottle. They can't put it back in there. That's where you get your mountain oysters. I've had those too. Those are actually pretty good. When I lived in Nevada, they had if you guys are familiar with Virginia City, I actually went to school there as a kid. If you've ever watched the old TV series Bonanza, they would ride from the ranch of Bonanza in Ponderosa, and they would go to Virginia City, was the main city that they would talk about in there. Well, that's where I grew up in that whole area, and I actually been to Bonanza in Ponderosa, but I went to school in Virginia City, and every year they have the Rocky Mountain Oyster Festival in Virginia City, and they have probably 50 more 100 vendors all out there selling different forms of spiced up Rocky Mountain oysters, so you can get all the nuts you want and all the flavors in Virginia City every year at the Rocky Mountain Oyster Festival. Anything to add to that one, Brian? Brian's like, I'm not going to Virginia City.
I've only had oysters once before, so.
What's that?
I only had oysters once before, and I wasn't really thrilled with them.
These are testicles. Your Rocky Mountain oysters are bull testicles.
Okay, so it's not like okay, those kind of oysters. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might stay away from that. I'm gonna stick with my ribeye and New York strip.
Ribeye and New York strip. I agree with you, but I've had them. They're definitely an acquired taste, I would say. I ran my 1969 Dodge truck on wood from 1996 to 2008. Dude, did you got a video on that? How did you do that? I mean, I want to know exactly how that works. That's pretty impressive, and I like it. But we got to talk about this more. Not in chat, but over a live stream or we'll get on here in Zoom or something. This one's for you, Brian.
Yeah. So they're in Northern Neck, Heathsville, Virginia. Okay, so I'm in Stafford, Virginia, which is just north of Fredericksburg. So I think it's probably, I don't know, an hour or two away from where you're at. Probably, yeah, probably closer to 2 hours. So yeah, it's on the I'm on the other side of the Rappahannock River, so they're on the eastern side, southeastern side.
If you guys decide to have a meetup up there, I'd definitely come. Yeah. It's only, 7.5 hour, 8 hour drive up there. I mean, I wouldn't mind the trip. It's absolutely gorgeous up there through the Shenandoah Valley and heading across there.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be going like 81 to like 64 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut through all the mountains.
81's not far from me. I live 80 runs by Morristown, which is the next big city over here, near me. I'm about 45 minutes from Morristown, so I can be on 81 in just under an hour.
Yeah.
Susan says, John, your response to your coworker was exactly 100%. Yeah. Somebody commented on one of my posts the other day, says, you're no BS. You're straightforward. Well, yeah. Yeah. It's my superpower and my downfall at the same time, because I don't sugarcoat anything. If I tell you something, it's just the way I feel about it. Brian is about 2 hours away.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I think I caught up on all the comments. For only 9 or 10 people, and you guys are just absolutely blowing us up on comments, which is good. I appreciate it. Now, have you hit the like button? Have you hit the subscribe button? Have you hit the share button? Make sure you do all those. Get us out there. Put us out there so that we get a bigger audience.
That's right.
And
share with all your friends
thank
on
you.
social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Both me and Brian's a little over 700 subscribers. I was, before this live, and I haven't checked it since, I was like 9 subscribers shy of 700. I absolutely appreciate you guys. I get inundated every single day now with comments, people emailing me, people writing comments on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook, and I do my best to try to answer every one of them that I can. And I appreciate you guys. I love hearing you guys' stories. I love hearing what's going on with you. I like helping people if I can, or at least always pointing them in the right direction, if nothing better. So we appreciate you guys. Oh, what do you want to talk about now, Brian? I know you got some lives and stuff coming up. You want to talk about those?
Yeah, sure. Almost knocked my microphone down. Sorry about that. So after today's live, tomorrow, have a live stream with Greg from My Weight Loss Life. We've been doing this thing on Thursday evenings during the NFL football games, and we call it the low carb football party. And we get on, we talk a little bit about the football game, but mostly we're talking about carnivore, keto, ketovore, low carb, whatever. And this Thursday, we are going to be talking about I can't think of the right word that I want to say. Nutrition labels. So looking at the nutrition labels and dissecting everything that's in there and what's really good for you and what's not, and so forth, that kind of thing. So that's gonna be like our main focus while we're watching the football game. And we'll have some guests come on. I know last Thursday we had you come on as one of our guests, and we've got some people lined up for tomorrow, so that'd be pretty great, I think. And then Friday I don't have a live stream, but I have an offline interview with one of the PhD mentor coaches in Dr. Barry's community. And then Sunday will be our live in your carnivore roundtable. So that takes me kind of through the next few days at least. And then you kind of get into October, and I really don't stop at that point. um, I've got some offline interviews, but I've got Carnivore Soldier. I'm going to be doing a live with him. We've got always on Thursdays that low carb football thing. So I've I got usually 2 to 3 lives at least, if not more like 4 lives every week here for the next few weeks. So a lot going on.
It's
How
good
about you?
stuff. It's good stuff. So got I have the live tonight with you that we're doing now, and then um, I don't have anything on the radar for the next couple days, but Sunday I have the live. It's my weekly roundtable, carnivore roundtable. We get 4 or 5 YouTube creators, together, carnivore discussion, 1 or 2 topics, and then take questions from the audience. That is at 1 p.m. on Sunday Eastern time, every Sunday, except for Christmas and maybe some other holidays that fall in there. And then Sunday night, I have a live interview with Mike Shaw TV. And so I'll be doing an interview with Mike on Sunday night. And then the following Sunday, I'll have my roundtable at 1. And then I have a live interview with Becky from Oregon, because I can't say ketovore Oregon very well. So we'll just say Becky, because she told me last night to just call her Becky. So we'll be interviewing with her that night. And so that's scheduled out. And then following Sunday after that, I got my round table, but then I'm scheduled to interview Carnivore Kip. Will be on my channel, and we'll be doing a live interview with Carnivore Kip that Sunday. Now I'm in discussion with a doctor that I won't name just yet, but I'm working on getting him lined out to come on one of my carnivore roundtables. He's agreed to it. I just got to work out some stuff with his assistant, and so that'll be good stuff. That'll be coming up. One of the carnivore doctors, and I'm reaching out to some other people to do it. I have a live. I had an interview that I did with this lady that Jessie, and I just got to finish. I just got to finish editing. I got to get posted this week. I just with the meetup and going out of town and everything. I've fallen behind on some of my editing, so I need to get that done. And I've got a couple other people that I'm in discussions with, but we haven't locked it down. Oh, I got this agreed, and this is going to be pretty cool. It's not really carnivore, though both these guys have done keto to a certain extent and lost a bunch of weight, which is cool. But there's a couple guys I've been following on YouTube for the last several years, even before I started my homesteading here in Tennessee. They're called Two Brothers Outdoors. They have a YouTube channel. They're out of the Antiochs. I can't say it right. It's New York, Albany, New York. We'll just go with that. And they have a sawmill, and they're doing custom sawmill working, a homestead. And I'm actually going to interview them for the homestead aspect of my channel. I do a lot of carnivore stuff, but I'm Carnivore Backwoods. I do everything, including carnivore, but I also want to include homesteading, the cabin build. I'll probably talk about some deer hunting and stuff here as we go into deer hunting season over the next month. So they're going to be a Saturday live. I just haven't set a date on that one yet, but that should be coming soon. So that'll be good stuff, and this is some really good guys. And I'm constantly working other ideas to try to include more content that for you guys, and so keep a word out. I definitely will be posting it, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram to let everybody know. Looks like Susan jumped from my channel to your channel, or has it on 2 devices, so she could say hi to you, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Susan.
I think you made him blush. Oh. You said hi. Okay.
Yeah.
I should probably. You're welcome. So, anybody got any more questions for us? Put them in the comments. We've been going for an hour and 10 minutes. You know, we're open doors. We'll answer questions. We don't get shy about it. If you got something that's on your mind, something that you want to know, we'll talk about anything carnivore, from the basics to to anything in between. Brian,
So, John,
you've been pretty. What's that?
I was gonna say I got a question for you. That's your latest shirt design, right? The shirt that you're wearing?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us all about it?
So, it says carnivore life, and then the design, comes from Canva. It is free to use, free to utilize. And I like it because it has that Viking style drawing look to it. And then the bottom of the shirt says, "Feeding my inner beast, one steak at a time." And this is my latest T-shirt design. I have it up on my Etsy page, and you can find links to it also in my Facebook. And I can throw a link up here in a minute to it. But it's a great shirt. These are nice, really comfortable, soft jersey shirts. I don't like cheap shirts. When I pick shirts out, I try to make sure that I'm getting some of the better quality, so that my shirts might cost a little bit more, but you're getting a decent quality shirt. And everybody's got them so far. And Brian, me and you need to exchange shirts. I've exchanged shirts with JT, and I've exchanged shirts with Carnivore Soldier, and now I need one of yours because you got some shirts up. I think you're using the same design, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I actually have some with a bull and then some with the wolf. So it's somewhat similar, yeah. So I've got a few different shirts out there. I've got one that's like Carnivore Strong. I'm trying to remember what they all are, but I don't remember right now. But yeah, I do have some shirts out there, so we definitely should do an exchange.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll work that out after the live. I'll send you one of mine. You can send me one of yours. I love doing T-shirt exchanges with other carnivores who have T-shirts. And I'm a T-shirt guy, so it works for me. All right.
Did you see we got a question in there that you came in?
It looks like we got a couple of them.
Yeah.
Oxalate dumping. Has anyone dealt with that? Wonder if I'm having issues with that. In the beginning, I didn't know what oxalate dumping was when I first started carnivore, but I'm pretty confident that's what I did for the first couple of weeks. My system did a complete flush out, and then one of the things I noticed is I got some dry skin down on my calves and stuff that I think was part of the oxalate dumping, but it wasn't bad. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I don't know, because I had a lot of joint pain, just before going carnivore. So, I know that you can get joint pain from oxalate dumping, right? And I had probably the first few weeks or so that I went carnivore. It did seem like it was a little bit worse. So maybe there was some of that in there, but within a couple of weeks, my joint pain was completely gone. So I don't know. It's possible I did have some, but again, because I had so much pain before going carnivore, it's kind of hard to tell there if what was what, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I wasn't aware of it at the time, so I wasn't really paying attention to it. I didn't have any joint pain to speak of, but I did have a lot of water loss, had a lot of inflammation, and a lot of stuff that came out as I started the diet. I mean,
Yeah. And see, I also did keto for a couple months before I went to carnivore, so I didn't have a lot of the water loss thing because that probably happened more so with the keto.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I really noticed huge. I like the when I first did keto there, I didn't lose a lot of weight, but I did lose a little bit of weight, and I think that was because of water weight that came out. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard people talk about it, but I don't have any major experience with it to really explain. By the way, I picked up these in Carolina.
Topo Chico.
Topo Chico. There we go.
Sean's
Um,
always talking about those.
these are really good. They're carbonated water, but they don't taste funny. You know, a lot of the carbonated water, you know, it tastes, you know, minerally and maybe salty. These kind of like drinking a soda, but it's water.
Hmm.
All right, and then the next one we got down here is: did or do either of you take blood pressure medications? Oh, Brian froze.
Yeah. Was that me or so I don't know if anybody can hear me, but I cannot hear John, so I'm not sure. So I'll talk here in case you can actually hear me.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So in terms of blood pressure medication, I've been on blood pressure medication since I was, I think, 28. So it's been over 20 years. With going to carnivore, I have seen my blood pressure decrease, so it's gotten better. I am still on medication, but I take a less dosage than what I used to. Um, and yeah, I've just been really slow to think about getting off of it. But I've also noticed that it's been kind of slow going for me. Like I'm almost at 15 months here on carnivore, and the blood pressure has gone down, but it's slowly gone down over time. So it hasn't been as quick of a fix for me as some of the other things that I've had health wise. Like, I talked a little bit about the joint pain, arthritis, just better mood, energy, that kind of stuff. Those things all happen pretty quickly. And for me, blood pressure has just gone down slowly over time. So it hasn't been as quick of a thing. So yeah, I'm still at the point where I'm taking some medication, and hopefully I can get off of it all the way here pretty soon at some point. But it's just been slower for me. How about you, John?
So I've been on blood pressure medication since I was in my mid-20s, and I've always had high blood pressure. Even when I was a kid and a teenager, I would go in and they would take my blood pressure, and they were like, "Oh, your blood pressure is high. You're probably going to have to go on medication." I've had that ever since I was a teenager. So in my 20s, I ended up going on blood pressure medication, and I've been on blood pressure medication ever since, up until recently. In March, when I started the diet, my blood pressure was still fairly high, even though it was medicated. But as I progressed through the diet, my blood pressure, slowly but surely started reducing, to the point that I ended up coming off of. Right now, I'm off of 3/4 of the medication that I was taking in March. I'm only taking one pill of benzapril today, a day, where I was taking two of those plus, I guess it's 1/3 of my medication, plus an HCTZ medication on top of that to try to keep it in a reasonable range. Right now, my blood pressure is sitting at 118/76 on the average, 120/80, 118/76, and that's with me taking one pill a day. And probably by the time I reach my 1 year mark, I'm going to be completely off my blood pressure medication. I have a really good video on that on my channel, if you guys want to see it. And I posted, I have a blood pressure cuff that goes on my wrist that I can take my blood pressure fairly discreetly at work or wherever I'm at. I can just put it on there. It runs for a few minutes and gives me my blood pressure right off of my wrist. And it then Bluetooths to my phone so that it records it and keeps it in there. And so I have this complete data of all my blood pressure checks since March. And you can watch my blood pressure as it went down, and you can see the points where I stopped medication and it went up a little bit, then it continued down, and then where, you know, as I went through this, it's pretty remarkable. The heart functions better on ketones. Dr. Barry's got a great video on this. Your mind functions better, your whole body functions better on ketones, but blood pressure will come down dramatically on this diet. And the idea that old age means you're going to have high blood pressure is actually a lie, or, you know, a myth. What it really means is high carbohydrate intake is going to cause you to have high blood pressure. And that's really what it comes down to. All the carbs that you're consuming is just tearing your body to pieces, and it's causing high blood pressure. It's causing, you know, they've linked carbohydrates now to dementia. They're calling it, you know, basically the type 3 of diabetes is now, you know, dementia. It's caused by carbohydrates, you know. So by coming off all of those and reducing my carbs, and I you know, every once in a while I'll get a little off diet, but for 99.9% of the time, I'm no more than 5 grams of carbohydrates a day. And that's where I like to keep it. So yeah, blood pressure is a big one, and it's a big one for me. I'm a big man. I'm 6'2", and, you know, and I weighed 345 pounds in March, and now I'm down to 73 pounds. But my blood pressure is the best it's ever been. It's better than when I was a kid. So that's a big one. So anyhow, that hopefully that answers your questions. Check out my video. You can find it up there on blood pressure. Like I said, I have it displayed on the screen, my actual blood pressure averages for each month since I started this diet. Susan says, I can hear you. It must have been back when my internet bumped. Susan says, I'm on BP medicine, but I don't know how you know it. But I don't know how you know if it needs to be changed. Well, you got to take your blood pressure. If you go to that video that I posted, there's a link in there to the blood pressure cuff that I got that goes on my wrist. You know, it's a great thing. It's only like $30, and I love that thing because it's Bluetooth to my phone, and you just take your blood pressure. You can take it in the morning, you can take it in the afternoon, you can take it in the evening. You know, the more checks, the more accurate your average number is going to be, because, you know, I take my blood pressure right now, it may be a little high, and I can take it in 15 minutes and it'll be completely normal. So you want to take several blood pressure checks throughout the day, and that will give you a more accurate number of what you're at. Brian, are you checking your blood pressure?
Yeah, I don't have a wrist one, though. I have one of those that goes on the upper arm, and, you know, you pump it. But yeah, I do take it, and mine has been typically between 110 and 120 for the top number, and the bottom number is usually between like 75 and 80, 82, somewhere in there. So that's been my mostly my average lately.
Cool. Good stuff. Let's see here. My blood pressure has dropped a bunch, reduced or dropped 3 of my meds I was on. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I got to a point with one of my medications that I would be at work and I would bend over to get something off a bottom shelf, and I get dizzy and get lightheaded. You know, so you got to be really careful, because your blood pressure can go the other direction on this diet, because you're healing and your blood pressure is coming down, and you're on top of that, you know, giving it this medicine that's driving down your blood pressure even farther, and it can go too far the other direction. So you got to be really careful. Make sure you are monitoring it. Minimalist Carnivore said he had to run, take care of all. Sorry to see you go, Chad. Glad Wick got to see. I'm going through the comments. You're able to read them. I'm not catching them until I get down here. Let's see here. He says, yep, we will have to do something soon, Brian. We'll let it run. Also hit the like button. We appreciate it, bud. I think we're at the
Yep.
bottom of the comments again here.
Yep.
So
Looks like you're caught up.
anyways, that's one of my biggest victories. Getting off my diabetic medicine was huge. But blood pressure, I mean, that's something that I've dealt with all my life, and I was led to believe that it was just something that, you're a fat white guy, so you're going to have high blood pressure. That's basically what they tell you, right? You're
And then
white and you're overweight, and you're going to have high blood pressure.
and they tell you that you're eating too much salt and you need to limit your salt, right?
And they tell you gotta. I mean, they did that to my father. That's the thing that bothers me the most is I turned 49 last month, and I lost my father when he was 52, and so I'm hitting that big 50 here quickly, and he had a heart attack and died, and his last 10, 20 years, the doctors were all, you got to do this, you got to cut the sugar, no fatty foods, you got to eat this stuff. And, it was a real struggle for him because it wasn't something that he wanted to do, the flavorless foods and, eating vegetables and stuff like that. So he had a lot of time to struggle with it. And he came to me probably 6 months before he passed away. And he told me that he was going to die. He knew it. And so 52 is a big age for me as I'm growing older here. And I want to be healthy. And it upsets me to think back that he could have been healthier had he been given better medical advice. So I won't go any farther into that because it'll get me upset. But it's something that's always in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Susan said, I take a combination pill. The HCTZ causes insulin resistance. By the way, you can Google that. That's why I had to come off of mine. It was causing me weight loss issues, and it was causing my blood sugars to stay high. And that's an absolute fact. You will be surprised when you get off that. That your weight loss will improve.
Yeah, I was on HCTZ a while back as well, and that's a bad one. So you want to get rid of that.
HCTZ is a bad one. Leanne. Please ignore me. Okay, I can't pronounce the other one. I'm not a nurse. My wife would be like, "Well, that's what that says, right? Why can't you read that?" I'm like, I don't know, because I'm a redneck.
Valsartan? I don't know. Valsartan?
Valsartan?
Valsartan.
Yeah, it's a blood pressure med.
Yeah, Valsartan?
Yeah.
Valsartan. There it is. See? Just got to ask the resident now. So, anyways, the HCTZ, Google that. I don't know the other one. I don't have any experience with it, but I would probably Google it too and get some background on what the side effects are of those. HCTZ is a definite one that causes, like I said, insulin resistance. It will cause to slow down your ability to weight loss.
Can cause your triglycerides to go up too, I've heard.
Yeah, it can cause your triglycerides to go up, which will mess up your ratio of triglycerides to HDLs. So it's definitely a one that you want to come off of. Like I said, I'm not familiar with the other one, so I couldn't speak to it. But that one there, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just telling you my personal experience and what I've read on the internet, and I highly encourage you to go read it too. I remember you. Oh, she said, yeah, I probably said it quite a bit. I have a tendency of bringing that one up because, medication and me have been around a couple of times, between cholesterol medication and then blood pressure medications have both affected my ability to lose weight.
Just making a little blooper reel here for you, knocking my microphone over and stuff.
Oh, that's okay. It'll make a great short. Carnivore Sue, I appreciate that. It's been 24 25 years. This has been 25 years now. So, but 52 is a big year for me, and I'm pushing closer. Like I said, I'll hit the 50, next August. So it hangs out there like this sore thumb in your back of your head that you just never forget. Let's see. I was on HCTZ2. There's a tongue twister. Say that fast 5 times. It's gone. Yeah, intentional carnivore was on it, and he talks about it too. It causes issues.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that was awful. So, anyways, we've gone around the corner here on a few conversations. Anything else that anybody wants to talk about? Brian, you pressed for time. We're an hour and 30 minutes in, buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm good if you want to keep going.
Sue lost her dad a year ago, April. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It never heals completely, but it will get better. But there's always that hole. All right. So, anyhow, got.
So you said you just turned 49, right?
Yeah, August the 29th, I turned 49.
Okay. So we're pretty close in age. I'm going to be hitting 50 here in December, so like a little bit older than you, but we're basically in that same, the same grouping, right? We're kind of at the same time in our lives trying to do the same thing here with the carnivore and get as healthy as we can. And yeah, I think that we're on the right path with what we're doing. So we just got to keep going with it,
Absolutely. I feel, I mean, you have to understand, 6 months, 7 months ago, I thought it was circling the drain. I felt horrible. Every day was a struggle. Every day was like, oh my goodness, your mind was fogged, your brain, you couldn't function. I couldn't work for long periods of time. I'd find myself having to sit down. The heat was just unbearable. Last year, I was when I was building this room, this little cabin that we're in here. It was a real struggle to do this, and it's been a life changer for me. We went out and hiked for miles over the weekend. I never could have done that, here 6 months ago. I haven't hunted or deer hunted in the last several years because I just haven't had the energy to get up and go do it. And so, yeah, I feel 100% better, and it's completely life changing. And so, yeah, I feel a lot better about turning 52 today than I did 6 months ago. Trust me.
So you're going to go deer hunting then this fall?
I'm planning on it. I have the land here, and I know, and the deer roam on it. And so I need to get up on top. So my property is all uphill. I live down here at the bottom of it, and then it just slowly but surely goes all the way to the ridge line. And I have 15 acres, like I said, up there. I got a 5-acre plot. I got 9+ acres on one land that's the house is on. Then I have another plot that I bought next to it. I plan on going up there and clearing a big section of it and getting a little food plot in there, putting me up a deer stand, and seeing if I can put me a couple deer in the freezer, at least ways.
Yeah. Nice way to save money on this diet, right?
Yeah. And, backstrap, which would be the same as like a T-bone or a pork chop in a pig or a T-bone in a cow. The backstrap is that same muscle group along the backbone there. That's really good eating.
Mm.
Oh, okay, carnivore. So you guys are watching this from 2 different devices. Are you on each of our channel, or are you all on one channel or the other? No, I don't care. I'm just messing around. Let's see. I'm fortunate to have a wife doing this carnivore road right along with me. She found a picture from a year ago, and it really shows the change in her weight. Absolutely. Good for you guys. That's amazing. The wife and I have been doing carnivore together since March 1st. She's lost an immense amount of fat, and lost I think 35 pounds or so, but she's lost a lot of excess unnecessary body weight that she didn't need, and she's healthier now. Brian, are you the only one in your house on the diet, or?
Yeah. My kids have all moved out now, but none of them were doing carnivore. My son tried it, but he didn't really give it a good enough of a try, to be honest. And my wife, she's kind of starting keto-ish, kind of. So there's hope, I guess, that maybe she'll go more carnivore at some point, but I'm not gonna push her, and most of my time period here, I've been the only one doing it though. So it's been interesting because, you have people bring in different types of foods in the house that you want to stay away from. And that can be a struggle in its own right. So,
Yeah, yeah. The wife is more ketovore, and I'm more strict carnivore.
I'm not more ketovore. I'm 90% carnivore. I only eat salads occasionally when we go out.
Okay, slightly ketovore. I woke up the beast in the other side of that room here. But she does eat a little bit of plant based. I try to stick to solely carnivore as much as I can. Though occasionally I will get off diet. For the anniversary, we did have a little bit of the things off diet. For my birthday, I had a little bit off, but most days it's strict carnivore. Susan says it's wonderful to get your life back. Absolutely.
mm-hmm.
And I said that, and then I realized that after I said it, you're absolutely right. Backstrap is not the T-bone; it is the ribeye. But it is the best cut of deer meat possible. I love backstrap. Equal watch time for you all.
She's switching back and forth from our channels.
I will post your pitch on my YouTube channel. I have a few videos out, but need to learn how to edit. There's a program called Describe, and I highly recommend it. It's really cool. It's what I use for editing, and it removes all of the I knows and ums and all the silly things that you repeat over and over again. So you can go through your video, and it literally takes the video, imports it, then pulls the script out and puts it right next to it, and then you can go along and you can literally just, if you say something you want to remove, you can just delete that line and it removes it from the video. So all the so's, like I just said there, so's and ums and all that, you can literally go through and remove all that and make the video much cleaner with this. And then you can go through and clean up where you repeat yourself, or if you find yourself like you've messed up what's up and you were saying, and now you want to say it again cleanly, instead of having to stop the video and start the video again, I just stop, take a deep breath, and then I do what I want to say. And then when I do the editing, I can just go through and remove the sections that I don't want simply by deleting the words that need to be removed. It makes editing so much easier. It's definitely worth having. And the cool thing is when you upload your YouTube video, you can upload your script into closed caption, and then you immediately are able to share your videos not only with people who can hear, but you can also share your videos with people who need closed caption, because otherwise you have to wait on YouTube to do it, and it takes a day or two before they create the closed caption for your videos. So this way you can have it up right as the video premieres. You can have closed captioning on there for the people that need hearing assistance. And Twin Maples, I'm always looking for people for my Sunday Carnivore Roundtable. If you want to jump on and be part of our our 4 or 5 carnivore panel. I would love to have some extra people on there, and that goes to Carnivore Sue or Twin Maples or any of you guys that and you don't even have to have a YouTube channel. If you just want to come on live and discuss the diet with us, that's cool too. Just let me know. You can reach me at my Gmail, which is carnivorebackwoods@gmail.com. Carnivore Sue says I'm slightly ketovore too. Yeah, we'll call her slightly ketovore. That's a good topic. Slightly ketovore. Right, Leanne? Slightly ketovore.
Slightly, like 5%. Seriously. Give me a break.
All right. Keto is better than sad. I did it for 5 years. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a trained chef and do most of the cooking in the house. I managed to cook 2 ribeyes while you were talking. Well, did I miss the memo? Did we not get invited, Brian? I mean,
I'm only a couple hours away, so I can drive down there.
You gotta let us know. We could have planned this better. He says, "Wow, I might actually sound sane and smart." Scary. Yeah, it's a great. Brian, did I share it with you? Have you tried Describe yet?
Is it?
I know
Descript?
Carnivore Soldier did.
Describe or Descript? I've heard of Descript.
Well, maybe I'm saying it wrong. Now we pull it up here. I will.
Yeah. I've been, to be honest, I've been using just a Windows-based thing that is free. Just because I already spend enough money on this channel doing different things, so I've been trying not to spend too much money.
Okay,
but,
yeah, you're right. I was calling it wrong. It's Descript. It's spelled
Descript, yeah.
D is in Delta, E is in Edward, script. Descript.
Yeah.
And it's it's free to a certain point, then it's paid from there, but it's well worth having.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it from different people. I haven't gone to it, but it would be easier than what I'm currently using. So at some point I might go to it, but yeah.
I used it on our last Sunday video to clean up all the ums and I knows out of it, and I removed 10 minutes of video just removing that. In a 2 hour hour and a half. I don't even think we went a full 2 hours on that last Sunday video. And I did that so I could upload it as a podcast, because all of my Sunday videos now go up as a podcast also. And so I went through there and had it remove all the I knows and ums and so's, so that we weren't doing that, because I know is you'd be amazed at how much you say that when you go back and listen to something. And it literally removed 10 minutes of the video, which I was laughing about. Susan says I lost 140 pounds, kept it off, no longer in a wheelchair.
That's great. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is amazing. That is good stuff, Susan. I've done that once. It was great fun. We'll need to look for your channel. I might be already subscribed. Oh, Twin Maples? I assume you're talking about it. You're looking for his channel.
Yeah.
Being carnivore is a great way to motivate the reindeer to get airborne. You better get airborne and fast. Let's see. Thank you too. I've been carnivore 100 days now. Lost 14 pounds and lost 12 inches off my torso. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. That's a Santa joke. Yeah, well, I bet Santa's a carnivore too, so, but we won't, All right, so I'm all caught up in comments again. It's been a good night, guys. We're an hour 44 minutes in here. You know, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, we got 7 people on here. You guys have been a great group. You guys have been absolutely just blowing me up, and I think it's just a handful of you doing it. But you know, we enjoy it. I was going to ask something earlier, and I completely lost. We got sidetracked. I don't know. Well, guys, I think that we're going to call it a night. We appreciate you joining us. Definitely check out our channels, check out our videos. Brian, what's the last 2 videos you put out?
Oh, wow. Put me on the spot here. Let's see. So the last video that I just came out with was about staying on track on your diet and how to stay motivated and keep yourself accountable, that kind of thing. And I think the last video that I did, so this is not talking about like a live or anything. The last video before that, I think, was about skin tags. Talked about how doing whether it's low carb, keto, ketovore, whatever, Atkins, or if it's carnivore all the way, no carb, that it usually helps you to get rid of skin tags that you have. So those have been the last couple of videos I've done. How about you?
So I just put out a video on my carnivore coffee. The wife and I have been drinking, carnivore coffee since the beginning, and I drink it with no sweetener. It's just heavy whipping cream, but we use a little blender to blend up the whipping cream into basically just almost whipped cream. It's just starting to get that consistency, and then you pour your coffee in there slowly, or you use a Keurig, and it goes in there slowly, and so then some of the cream melts into the coffee. So your coffee gets a little bit of a cream flavor, and then that you get that cream on top, and as you sip it, it mixes. It's really good, and it's I think it's similar. People like putting butter in their coffee. Well, butter is just whipped cream that's been whipped past the point of being whipped cream. So and it's where you didn't reduce the butter fat out from it. So it's in that same range, and I like it. So we did a video on that while we were up in Hendersonville. And I posted that up, so that video is up on the page. And then before that, I think it was my top 10 tips for staying on the diet. So those are my recorded videos. Now I got a lot more live recordings than I have of actual planned out recordings, but I'm working on it. I don't particularly care for all the editing and stuff. Even using the better program makes it easier. I like lives because when I get done, it's done.
Yeah.
Other than pulling, say, cleaning up the ums and the so's and the knows out for going to the podcast. Otherwise it's done. So that's where I'm at. Planning to do a video. Do a walk through the cabin. I have that. I'll probably try to get that up this week. I have that interview that I got to finish editing. And then I don't know. I'm thinking about doing a video on carnivore ice cream. Well, it'd be more like carnivore custard. Be on
That's
the
funny
lookout
you
for
bring
that.
that up. That's funny you bring that up because I just tried Dr. Kilt's carnivore ice cream, and I'm working on a video where I'm going to review it. So that's funny. We think
Yeah,
alike for some reason.
I just bought an ice cream maker just solely for the purpose that I want to make carnivore ice cream without sugar. Now, the wife may want some sweetener in it, or the daughter will definitely probably want regular sweetened ice cream, and that's her choice. But yeah, I just bought it. I got it sitting in the freezer. I bought the ingredients for it tonight. I was going to be doing some trial runs with it, and then we'll probably be doing a video on it.
Cool.
Got a question in here.
Yeah, Twin Maple's got a question about Descript.
Susan said, "Thanks, guys. Great to know you both better." Absolutely, Susan. And then Twin Maples, Descript is free to a certain extent, depending on how much you want to use it and how much you get into it. So, what?
Your daughter's going to come she needs the keys.
So here you go. Passing keys through the cabin here. Anyways, so yeah, it's free. You can download it. You can use it to a certain extent, but if you want the full aspects of it, there is a pay, but it's not overly expensive. Would love a good carnivore ice cream recipe. Absolutely. Like I said, maybe we'll get together and we'll do a live comparing our ice creams there, Brian. Pretty fun. And then we made carnivore ice cream, added some pure vanilla. Yeah, that's so I've seen some different recipes. I've seen some where people done vanilla and they've added some cinnamon, so it's more like a snickerdoodle type ice cream is what they were trying to call it. But it's going to be more of a custard than really an ice cream, I think, because it's going to have more of an egg base in it. But no, I'm looking forward to trying it because I like ice cream, but I'm staying away from the sugar. So, it'd be interesting to see how this comes out and how I think of it. And so I'll probably do a review on this ice cream maker that I got. And that'll probably go up along with making the ice cream. And I'll put that out there for people to look at. So, all right, guys, we appreciate each and every one of you. We will catch you on the next one. Make sure you catch out Brian. You have a live tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern. We expect all of you to be there with bells on. And, give us some support for the channels, and we appreciate it. And we will catch you on the next one. And we do appreciate you here. Good night, guys.
Thanks, everybody.